How is the Chicago market for Airbnb? Like, what
Mm.
pros and cons do you see with the Chicago market? Because I know every city is different.
Mm-hmm.
Is the market, I know it's not as booming as as,
Florida.
as Florida, different other states.
Probably LA and Vegas too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
LA
question.
was a big booming market as well.
Yeah, and yeah, it definitely indeed. And you consider like we have winter time. So my summers are my most lucrative months, and the summers where I make the most money. Um, I would say the market is actually better than what I thought. And so I'm glad you asked that because I need to name this. So when I said I was going to do the Airbnb, I had quite a few people like, that's not a good idea. Like, that's people are not going to rent it. And so, don't count yourself out before trying to do something. I didn't know that this was going to be as successful as it has been. I figured if it didn't work, it's my property. I can just turn it back into a rental, right?
Mhm.
But it was actually extremely successful. It stays booked. I have the highest ratings that you can have. I'm in the top 5% of Airbnb owners. My place is most sought after. I have excellent reviews. My location is good. The property is nice. The area is safe. So it really depends on you as a host because there's an audience for everything that you ever think you want to do. There's an audience for it. And so I almost counted myself out because I was listening to people who had good intentions and just wanted to see me succeed, but they didn't know what they were talking about.
People
So
love to cast their fears on you.
yeah, they will. And you'll
Site.
kind of step back. You'll kind of, set your stuff aside because you want to, it didn't feel really safe. What was winning where I was winning is because if it didn't work, I could just turn it to a rental. But long story short, I went with it. And so all the things that I thought were cons were not cons because as long as you show up, you think about your guest and their experience and you curate that experience, you're responsive. It really does what it needs to do.
Most definitely. Let me ask another thing. What does it really cost to run an Airbnb each month? Do them numbers fluctuate
They
differently?
fluctuate, and so you definitely want to have some systems in place because
Mm-hmm.
that makes the difference, right? Understanding that okay, you have your daily rate, but you still have to consider costs for cleaning, and
Mm-hmm.
then finding substantial cleaning crews. It's hard, right? Because your business is only as good as the people who are
That,
working for you,
right.
right? Like I said, I've been doing this for a year, so I'm constantly checking behind my people who come out and clean. I pay a company to come out and clean, but I check behind them because their error is going to fall on me. And
Exactly.
then I get a bad rating. So the cost can fluctuate, but you want to consider cleaning costs, unexpected variables, right? I had one instance where I had a family come in and stay, and somehow there was some electrical issue where the lights wouldn't come on in the house. And so this family came from three different states. It was six of them, six couples. They flew in. And so that's not their problem. They called me and said, hey, the light's not coming on. I'm like, oh, I'm come over, turn on the fuse. That wasn't it. I don't know what was going on. Call the electrician. Meanwhile, I need to make sure my guests have the best experience.
Exactly.
I put them in a hotel. Um, and they was like, wow, like I had to spend a grip for that to do it. But I was just really keen on making sure their experience wasn't interrupted by whatever inconvenience I had going on. And so you got to have money for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it can be costly, but in my year of doing this, that was the only time I had an incident like that. But luckily, I had the money to make sure their experience wasn't
So for
interrupted.
like them type of inconveniences, you put a certain amount aside each month for that.
Absolutely. So yeah, you have your money for your cleaning, your incidentals, and then your emergency fund because things pop up, and you always, as an Airbnb owner, you want to have some stash on the side.
Yeah.
In the event something happens, that if someone comes, that you can put them somewhere for a week. And that somewhere is usually going to be a hotel that's readily available or potentially another Airbnb that's
Airbnb.
suitable. And it has to be at minimum at what you have or higher. So, and it's last minute. So you got to be prepared. I would say you got to have a week's worth of money to donate to paying for somebody to
So
stay just for any emergency.
exactly.